The auto shut off. Battery powered speakers. There we go. Alright. Okay, we'll see what happens. Hopefully they don't go to sleep again on this. Alright. Good afternoon and welcome. We are Vancouver Tuba Christmas. We are all tubas, euphoniums, helicons, sousaphones, baritones, tenor horns, everything low brass except for a trombone. Santa. Wow. They had their day yesterday. They were at the library with holiday slides. So it's all good. Alright, so my name is Brian Weingartner. I'm a music teacher at Maple Ridge and been coordinator for Tuba Christmas for 15-ish years now. So it's been really exciting bringing everybody together once a year. We're not a normal group. We just get together the morning of, run through the songs, come here and play them all for you. And it's been a tradition going on for, this is the overall 51st year of Tuba Christmas in the world. The first one was at the Robson, this is Robson Square. It was at the Rockefeller Square Ice Rink in New York City, way back in 1970 something, 4 I think, yeah. And then 50 years later, it's been going on all over North America, all over Canada, even in other places in Europe and all around the world. And we really enjoy getting out and showing you what the tuba can do. It's usually relegated to the oompa in the back of the band, but now everybody here is all one big gigantic front row of tubas. So we're gonna get on with the music now. So that was Hark the Herald Angels Sing, and our next one is Deck the Halls. Yeah, made famous by Charlie Brown, right? As I mentioned earlier, Tuba Christmas has been going on for 51 years now, and created by Harvey Phillips, tuba player in New York, to honor his teacher, the late great William J. Bell, who was born on Christmas Day in 1902. And so it is through William Bell that we recognize the legacy of all artists and teachers of the tuba family of instruments. Tuba Christmas performances feature traditional music, especially arranged for the first Tuba Christmas, which was, again, on December 22nd, 1974 at New York City's Rockefeller Center Ice Rink by American composer Alec Wilder, who, ironically enough, died on Christmas Eve in 1980. So it is also through Alec Wilder, his grateful tribute to is paid to composers who have embraced these mobile instruments with their solo and ensemble compositions. Every Christmas season, players of all ages gather to pay respects to their heritage. The warm, rich, organ-like sound of the mass tuba euphonium choir has won the ears and hearts of every audience. It is therefore no wonder that Tuba Christmas has become an established Christmas tradition in cities throughout the world. We're excited here. Even today, we have an international ensemble. We have a few friends that have joined us from Ferndale. We have Ferndale over here. We also have Seattle representing. And although in our Canadian contingent, we did find that our person from Kelowna is the furthest visitor. So we have our Kelowna tuba here. So really, people come from far and wide. It's such an amazing event to be a part of. Victoria also has the Tuba Christmas. It's been going on for nearly as long as the original. And so if you haven't been to the Tuba Christmas in Victoria, that's another one you should check out sometime. All right, our next tune is going to be the First Noel. Let's see. By the way, another fun fact, the word carol, Christmas carols, comes from an old French carol, with an E at the end, meaning a ring dance accompanied by a song, and first appears in English in the early 14th century. And, let's see another fun fact. The first ever song broadcast was also a Christmas carol. On Christmas Eve in 1906, the Canadian inventor, Reginald Fessenden, played "O Holy Night" on the violin and sang the final verse while broadcasting from his Brant Rock radio tower in Massachusetts. This was the first broadcast of the human voice anywhere. It was picked up by receivers several hundred miles away. So Fessenden, not Marconi, was the true inventor of radio. That's pretty cool. We'll be playing "O Holy Night" a little bit later, but our next one right now is "Good King Wenceslas." you very much again. If you're just joining us, if you're just coming in to enjoy the ice rink, or just heard the call of the tuba out on the streets, we are Vancouver Tuba Christmas, all tuba euphoniums. There's about 35 or 36 of us strong this year. And again, it's random every year. We just get together the morning of, we practice the songs, and then we come out and play them for you. So thanks for being here. Have a lovely day. We're going to keep going. So, I know a lot of people might know what a tuba is. So if you have one of our normal, good old-fashioned, regular tubas, can you just hold your tuba up a little bit higher for us to see? There you go. Those big old things. That's what you normally think of when you think of a tuba. Now, you might hear us also mention this funny word, euphonium. How many euphoniums do we have up in here? So the euphonium is essentially a tenor tuba, or a baby tuba. So it's a little bit shorter, usually plays in the same range as trombone. Then we also have smaller horns. We have tenor horns, or baritone horns. So besides the euphonium, where's our baritone horns? We got one over there, a couple of good old-fashioned English-style baritones. And then I've got this funky oval German tenor horn, which is about 150-ish years old. But it's not a Wagner tuba. Wagner tubas wrap the other way and have a French horn mouthpiece. This one is actually just the same as the baritones, just it looks a little different. And in the back, we've got some of the big honking horns. So you might notice over here on the side, we've got a big white horn over here and a big silver one over here. Those are our sousaphones. When we think of marching bands, sousaphones. And before the sousaphone was invented, there was the helicon. And we have two helicon players this year. Ashton and Mark are back in the back. We got a gold and a silver one. So yeah, so all kinds of awesome instruments in the tuba family. And we all come together, just like this next song, O Come, Emmanuel. Alrighty, thank you again. And our next tune is We Three Kings. All right, this next one is gonna get a little more rhythmic for you, so you hear some of the fun, fast notes and articulations that tubas can play. So this one is called Patapan, which is, I believe, a song about a drum. So if you imagine a bunch of tubas pretending to be drummers, I don't have a joke there, but I'm sure something exists. Alrighty, now it's time for more fun facts about the tuba. So do you know the tuba, while we think of it, you might think of it, oh yeah, it's that big thing in the back of an orchestra. It's been around forever, but it's actually one of the newest instruments that exists in the realm of instruments. It was invented by Wilhelm Friedrich Liebrecht and Johann Gottfried Moritz in September 12, 1835. And tuba is the Latin word meaning trumpet or horn. So you can sure as instruments and languages have gone around the world, things have gotten a little confusing. Like and especially when you hear some person, oh, that's a nice trumpet. Well, that's a tuba. Well, yeah, I know, I just said that. Yeah, I don't know, it's confusing. There was an instrument just before the tuba called the ophicleide, which kind of looked like a weird mix of a saxophone, bassoon, hybrid thingy that played low notes with keys on the side of it. And that was around for a little while in the orchestras, but then the tuba soon took over with a more fuller, darker sound. And let's see, one more fun fact before we move on. Yes. So actually, I don't think we have any recording tubas here, but sometime back in the early days of the recording industry, when everything was done with basically recording all analog and acoustic into a little bell that carved all the waves into the cylinders or the records, they kind of made instruments to work better for recording, and so there was what we call a recording bell on a tuba. So similar to how the sousaphone bell points out forward, that's when a lot of concert tubas started to be made with their bells pointing forward so that they could be heard better in the recordings on the early days of sound recording. So for any audio industry nerds out there, there's your tuba audio tip of the day. All right, and now we're going to continue on with Joy to the World, Joy to the World. So our next piece is the wassail song. And if you don't know what a wassail is, it is usually a warm, spiced adult beverage that helps keep you warm in the cold weather. And for a few years when I started doing Tuba Christmas here in Vancouver, we did it at the German Christmas market back when it was by the Queen Elizabeth Theater. And if you haven't been to the German Christmas market, that's now down over by the convention center, it's been there for quite a while now. They have delicious Glühwein, which is the German version of a wassail. So just a little tip there. If you need to warm up after you're done ice skating, head on down to the German market and get yourself a Glühwein to warm up. of the German influence that I was just mentioning with the market. Also, this is another one. Many Christmas carols go across all kinds of different cultures. So this one is another old German tune called O Tannenbaum, or as most of us know it here, O Christmas Tree. All right, thank you. Our next one is Silent Night, and another fun story about this one was apparently written in its church when the organ broke, and so they had to kind of scramble last minute to have some music for the Christmas service, and so the pastor or the music director, probably the same person back in those days, anyway, quickly wrote a piece for guitar. So actually the very first version of Silent Night was for guitar and vocals. But this one probably sounds like if he had written it for organ, probably would have sounded like on an organ. So here's Silent Night, played by the Tubas and Friends. Alrighty, thank you. Our next piece is called The Holly and the Ivy, which the one that we're kind of most familiar with today was published by Cecile Sharp. And the holly and the ivy is thought to have pagan origins and could therefore date back over 1,000 years. It is most unusual for a carol like the holly and ivy to have survived over the years, especially during the stern Protestant period of the 17th century. The holly and the ivy have always been taken indoors during the winter in the hope of being that the occupants would survive difficult conditions just like the hardy holly and ivy. The colors of the holly and ivy, green and red, are traditionally associated with Christmas. The author and composer of holly and ivy are unknown. Here's the Thank you. Our next one we're going to play is a traditional canon called Dona Nobis Pacem, which means give us peace, and is a very beautiful traditional carol and a round or canon that we're going to perform for you, and just put out good vibes and good thoughts, hoping for all the peace in the world and all the conflicts and things going on. They should end like soon. So. This is, we're gonna feature everybody. We're gonna split into 3 separate groups. You're gonna hear the music kind of flow and start to blend as we have our 3 kind of mini choirs within the tuba group all play the different parts of the song. Sorry. Getting over a tiny bit of a cold. Sorry, I'm about to talk. I'm like, oh, I'm going to cough in the microphone. Sorry. All right, so this next one, it's a traditional tune has been around for quite a while. Most modern version that's probably been made really famous is by the group Trans-Siberian Orchestra. They're like the rock band orchestra that has a million lasers and lights all over the place. Actually, one of our members is wearing one of the t-shirts. That Gail Yip there. Yeah, they're amazing. And one of their most famous songs, they call it Christmas Eve in Sarajevo 1224. But it's essentially a rock and roll version of the Ukrainian bell carol. And so we're gonna play it for you now. Our version with all the tubas, euphoniums, and all the other low brass friends. This is the Carol of the Bells. All right, if you didn't hear the overhead PA, Zamboni time, so get off the ice. All right, this next one I'm gonna play is Oh Holy Night, which features, I mean, everything features the tuba, but this one really features the tuba. So the low guys get the melody for most of the song. The euphoniums play a lot of like, all kinds of pretty stuff there, so, but this is all about the tubas. Imagine, if you imagine your nativity scene with all the animals, like, you know, the donkeys, the sheep, the baby elephants serenading. This is the baby elephants in the manger. There's elephants there, right? I'm pretty sure. Thank you. Our next piece is It Came Upon a Midnight Clear. So I don't know if I did this on purpose one time years ago. I feel like we're playing all of our triple meter songs all in one giant block together. This one's another one in 3/4. The first other one was in 6/8 time. And this is another one that features our lower voices. So this one is Away in a Manger. Thank you so much again, and well, our Zamboni does the work on the ice. We appreciate you hanging out and enjoying our tunes. We got a few more for you. So hopefully once you get back on the ice, you'll have a couple more songs as we wrap up today. And if you're just wandering down, one more time, we are called Vancouver Tuba Christmas. And Tuba Christmas as an entity has been going on for 51 years, from New York all across North America over to Europe. I think there's some in Asia, Australia now. So there's a little nice holiday tradition where all the tubas and euphoniums get together, play Christmas carols for the public. You'll find the folks here. So thank you for coming out. If you plan to come watch us, thank you. And if you just happen to be in the area, you're like, what are those things on the stage? Well, now you know. Tubas. Next piece for you kind of has a fun, interesting backstory. It was written by Henry VIII. It's titled originally Green Sleeves, about a lady he was kind of very affectionate for, and she had a dress with green sleeves. And then for some reason they put some other words to it and became a Christmas song about little baby Jesus. So this is Green Sleeves, or What Child Is This? That's right, yeah. A couple more tunes for you. This next one is really funny when you look up history of Christmas carols, because this next one, that's also a very famous Christmas piece, is actually originally written for Easter time as part of Handel's Messiah. But this is the Hallelujah chorus from Handel's Messiah, which he wrote for Easter. But then, for some reason, we just kind of as society cherry-picked this little piece out of it, and it's like, hey, how about another Christmas song? Like, okay, sounds good. And this one was brought to us by our good friend Gordon Cherry, former principal trombonist of the VSO, and he's been a conductor of our group many, many times over the years. And he has his own publishing company called Gordon Cherry Classics, or just cherryclassics.com. And so if you're a low brass player and need good music, check out Cherry Classics. And this piece was arranged by another local low brass musician, David Salbrin, who is now the recently retiring tuba player from the Vancouver Opera. So this is David Salbrin's arrangement of the Hallelujah Chorus. Thank you so much, everybody. All right, so we're just about to wrap up. So hopefully get back on the ice here soon. Once more, thank you. My name is Brian Weingartner. I'm a music teacher in Maple Ridge and been teaching band and now elementary school. So it's after my little kid concerts this week, going from like the Chipmunk song in high-pitched voices in my head, coming back to the low end is so beautiful. So thank you everybody for being out here today and joining us. It's always a pleasure to have our Tuba Christmas here. Thank you to Robson Square Ice Rink and Government of British Columbia for having us out once again to play. And all the folks working here and working concessions and the skating rink things. We appreciate all your help with everything. And we want to thank the BC Regiment Band for allowing us to once again use the Beatty Street Drill Hall as our rehearsal space this morning. It's right down the road a little bit, so it always works out great for us to meet there for our morning rehearsal and then just wander up the street to come to our concert here. And so we have one and technically two more pieces, and then we're done. So this is one that I'm sure many people will know. This one is called Jingle Bells. All right, we got one more piece for you. We want to wish you all a very, very merry, wonderful Tuba Christmas and a regular Christmas too. But thank you so much for hanging out and listening to us today. And we'll see you hopefully again here next year. So thank you so much, everybody.